Seniors, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Today we're going to be doing, bar none, my favorite assignment I do every year with students. And it's mostly optional for you, but most of you will participate in it. So basically, I'm going to give you the opportunity today to go ahead and write a letter to yourself, and I'm going to go ahead and actually mail it to you in the future. So I'll kind of explain how that works, and I'll explain, what your different options are in terms of doing this assignment. So first of all, before we even get started, all this information here given to you, name, social media, email address, 5 or 10 years, all that is optional except for your name. If you do not wish to participate, you're just going to send me a message, and obviously I know who your name is, I know who you are, and I'll just give you credit for the assignment as if you did it. And I'm going to be doing that because I'm not actually going to be reading the letters that you're writing to yourself. I have to adapt a little bit this year, obviously, because of the situation we're in. Usually I have students write it by hand, and I have them fold it and staple it, and then I mail that out to them. And I'm actually doing that this summer when this whole thing dies down. I'm going to be emailing. I'm going to be mailing them out all their letters from 5 years ago. So you're going to write yourself a letter. I don't care what you put in there. It's completely up to you. And when you're done with that letter, you're going to move on to the next step. So the first page should only be your name and any contact information. And the second page, and however many pages after that, is going to be the letter that you actually write to yourself. I'm doing that because this year, or when I go to do it, I'm going to have to print them out, fold them up, and then stick it in the envelope. So the way I know where to actually mail it to is going to be determined whether you filled out the optional information. I put these in order: social media, email, address, or 5 years, 10 years, and it's really completely up to you what information you want to give me. Make sure you put it in the order that you want me to do first. So if you put down your address first, I'm just going to mail you this letter, and then if the mail gets sent back to me, then I'm going to go to the next step, which might be email or reaching you on social media. Or if you put your email first, I'm going to email you, hey, it's Mr. Valva. 5 or 10 years ago, I had you do this assignment to write a letter to yourself. Where would you like me to mail this letter? You give me the address, I send it out to you. Okay? It's that simple. So all these things are optional, right? So you can give me any social media. I can reach out to you too. I'll send you a message, whatever, and I'll explain what I just said. Or you can just give me an email, and I'll do the same exact thing there. You send it back to me, and I'll get it mailed out. Or you can give me an address that you think you'll have access to in either 5 or 10 years. And that's really why I do the email and social media part of it, because 5 or 10 years, you may or may not have access to that same address. So if you do just give me your address and you don't give me the other things, hopefully you have access to that address, but I'm only going to reach out to you on social media or email if you explicitly write your information down. I am not going to message you if that's not okay. I'm not into that. It's not my thing. You need to make sure that you give me permission if you want me to do so. If you don't want me to do so, no hard feelings. I won't reach out to you in the future. And lastly, you're going to tell me, would you like this letter sent to you in 5 years or 10 years? I recommend doing 10. You could do 5. The reason why we're doing this is my favorite assignment I ever had in high school. And I did it as a junior, actually, and I did receive my letter 10 years later. And it was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in life, really. And I want to give you all that opportunity. Yeah, it kind of sucks. It's not handwritten. But I mean, we're doing the best we can here. And it'll still be really cool to get a letter from yourself. You don't have to worry about stamps or anything. I'll send that out to you. And that will be it. So step 1, you do have to at least message me or send this to me in order to get credit. So if you don't want to do the letter assignment, don't do it. Just send me a message, hey, I'm not doing it, or don't mail it to me, whatever the case might be. The next step is you're going to give me any contact information that you feel comfortable with me contacting you in the future, and I'll just verify what your actual address is. And step 3, you are going to tell me, do you want this in 5 years or 10 years? Okay. Don't put 7. Don't put 2. I'm terrible at math. I do 5 and 10 to make nice, easy numbers for me, and I put it in the respective place it goes at my house. So, some questions I get asked all the time, because I always get bombarded with a ton of questions here. Are you really going to mail them out? Yes, I really am. I'm ready to go with my 2020 letters just a little bit later than I would like to get them out, but yeah, I really will. What happens if my house burns down? You're not getting your letter. What happens if you're not Alonzo anymore? You'll still get your letter. I'll make sure that you all get your letters if you want them. So there's that. And the other reason, really quickly, while I'm done talking here, the other reason why I'm doing this is whenever I run into students years later, 3 or 4 years later, I run into them at Walmart, wherever. The 2 questions I always get is, hey, Mr. Valva, how you doing? Are you still at Alonzo? Are you still teaching? Yeah. The very next question, without fail, is, do you still have our letters? So I know it's something that my students really enjoy. So this activity is for you. Write whatever you want in the letter. Like I said, I won't read them. Unless you tell me I can. In that case, I will read them. Okay. But if you don't have to tell me that that I'm not allowed to read them. I'm not going to read them regardless what you put on there, unless you explicitly tell me to read them. So with that said, I hope this makes sense. Make sure you send me a message if it doesn't make sense. And I hope you all had a wonderful weekend.